And we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger, and loss of wealth and lives and fruits. But give glad tidings to the patient.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Nafisa's Pearlz. My name is Nafisa. Thank you so much for dropping by. In today's video, I wanted to talk about trials. Trials are something that we as Muslims cannot escape. We have no choice with regards to trials. We have to go through them, because from the moment that we place in our heart, or we say through our mouth the shahada, and we have agreed to Islam, from that point onwards, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to test us to see how true really is our faith. Because you know, your words can only go so far. It's your actions that really prove whether your words are true or false. So in order for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give everyone an equal chance of entering Jannatul Firdaus, He gives us all trials according to our level of Iman and whatever it is that we can cope with. Now, if you're currently going through a trial and you're feeling like, you know what, I can't handle this, this is too much for me, I really can't deal with it, just keep in mind that Allah never ever tests a soul with more than what that soul can handle. So if you're going through a difficulty, it is challenging, yes. I like to call trials challenges because they are, you know, especially the ones with things that we tend to see as being difficult, they're not going to be easy. They're going to be things that are going to stretch us really far, you know, to see what we can really achieve. So remember that Allah never tests you with more than what you can handle. If you're going through it, then trust me, you can handle it. But you need the help of Allah to be able to pass that test and to be able to get through it. So the trials are two in terms of ways that you can be tested and the types of responses that you need to give to those tests. So the first one being that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can test you with something good, something of benefit to you. You know, He can give you so much good, and sometimes that can be the easiest test to fail. The test of goodness can be the easiest test to fail. Why do I say that? Well, because when we get good things in our lives and we get things that make us happy and we continue to get more and more of it, for some of us it begins to make us more arrogant. We start to think, I've achieved this because of this and that I have done. It's because of what I did. It's because of all the hard work I put in. And we sometimes forget Allah. We give Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala no credit for where we are in our lives and the good things that we have in our lives. And by responding in that kind of way, you've automatically failed your test, because you have failed to realize or to acknowledge Allah and His presence in your life, and that you would never ever have had the good that you have in your life if it's not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it wasn't for His permission, none of it would have happened. So let's be wary of the trial of good, because when it comes to the trial of difficulty, a lot of us turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than when it comes to the trials of ease. And that's why I say the trials of ease are easier to fail. Now, the second type of trial that you can have is the trial in terms of difficulty and challenges. And a lot of us will cry out to Allah and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help. And that is exactly what we need to do. Allah says in the Quran that we should seek help through patience and prayer, and that it is indeed difficult except for those who have faith. Okay, seek help. This is not the type of test that you have in this life. The test that we have in this life, like for example school, you know, you go to school, you want to do your GCSEs, you want to do your A-levels, you want to do your, you know, take your degree exams, and you're in the exam hall and you can't ask for help. Like, put your hands up, say, Miss, I'm confused, can you explain this? No one can help you, right? You're on your own. But the test of Allah is not like that. Allah is saying, you know, ask me for help, you know, seek help through patience and prayer. And actually the word is not just patience, because sabr can mean a lot, has a lot more meanings to it rather than patience. So patience involves constancy, it involves perseverance, and perseverance is the ability to continue along with something although you find it difficult, and inshallah ta'ala achieve your aim or your goal. So sabr is more than just having patience. There is also sabr in taking action. That is taking action to do the thing that you need to do in order for you to be successful. A lot of people assume that sabr just means sit back, do absolutely nothing. No, sabr is you taking actions to help yourself in as much as you can, but bearing in mind that the ultimate decision is for Allah to make. The ultimate outcome of whatever it is that you do is not in your hands. The outcome is within Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's hands. So do as much as you can to help yourself out of whatever difficulty you may be facing, but also back it up with lots of dua and salah and prayers and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guidance. Now, speaking of guidance, my next point is to make istihara. Istihara is a prayer that we do to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guidance. Now, there are a lot of misconceptions surrounding istihara. Some people thinking I must see a dream, and in that dream Allah's going to somehow show me what it is that I'm supposed to do. You don't have to see a dream. You may see a dream as a result of your istihara, where Allah guides you to whatever it is that you need to do. But really and truly, when you make that dua, you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're not asking him to show you, a dream. The dua is that, oh Allah, if this thing that I'm about to do, and you mention it, is good for me, then ordain it for me and make it easy for me and bless me within it. But if it's not good for me, then keep me away from it and keep it away from me, and ordain for me the good wherever it may be and make me pleased with it. Now, sometimes what happens is that every time we then try to go and do that thing, Allah puts a block in our way, and Allah continues to block us from getting there. And we continue to push and push and push, because in our minds we're thinking that this thing that I'm about to do surely is going to be good for me. But really and truly, another part of that dua of istihara is that you say and you admit that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows and you don't know. This is the thing, Allah knows and we don't know. And sometimes it may be that you like a thing and that thing is not good for you. And it may also be that you hate a thing where that thing is good for you, and Allah knows and we know not, and Allah says that in the Quran. So it has a lot to do also with putting our trust in Allah. But I mentioned istihara as part of this video just so that we all know that whatever decision we need to take, we definitely needs Allah's support and his guidance. My final point is to accept the decree of Allah, and this can be really tough on those of us going through really tough trials where we just feel like, it's really heavy on us. But may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us. Say Ameen. But I mean, to accept that this is the decision that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made for me, and just trusting him. And I think a lot of it has to do with feeling and knowing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not make a decision that goes against you, because Allah says in the Quran, whatever good comes to you is from Allah, and whatever evil befalls you is from your own deeds. So we all need to put our trust in Allah and know that Allah has our best interest at heart. He will not do anything that will harm us. Although trials are difficult, and again they can be challenging, those challenges and our ability to overcome them means that we are able to attain Jannatul Firdaus. Well, hopefully Jannatul Firdaus. And so that is really what we are looking for, and that's really what we want. So it was never a bad thing that for us to have gone through that trial. It was actually a good thing, because in the end it gave us ultimate pleasure. Now, to end all of this off, I want to say that we should all be seeking forgiveness from Allah, because there's no absolutely certain way of knowing that whatever you're going through is a trial and not a punishment. And even if you are certain that what you're going through is a trial, we commit sins every single day. No matter how small or big, we continue to commit sins. Why? Because we are imperfect. We are human beings and we have shortcomings. No matter how righteous any of us like to think that we are, the bottom line is we all commit sins, and we need to be continuously seeking forgiveness from Allah. And especially the more whenever we're going through trials, because we need Allah's mercy so much more during the times of trials. We always need his mercy, but especially to get us out of that difficulty, we definitely do need Allah's help and support. So I advise that we all do our best in seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's forgiveness, and I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes our trials easy for us, and that he helps us to pass our trials, and we seek refuge in him from the trials of this life and of the hereafter. Jazakallah khair for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.